Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the vlog. It's time for a little bit of an achievement week this week. You know, we work so hard, we play so hard, and now we are, well, for me this is a big one. I'm going to achieve and finish off the 7 wonders of the world when we go to the Chichén Itza, whatever it's called, I can't fucking say it. Anyway, when we go through this week, we've then completed off that 7 wonders of the world, including all the ones, including the Rio de Janeiro, the big statue there, the pyramids of Giza, Rome's Colosseum, the Great Wall of China, all the lovely ones that are around the world that I've been to. Now, this for me doesn't really mean anything, but it means a lot of things to a lot of people. When you get into traveling, when you get to do stuff, people are like, oh, I want to go and see these wonders of the world. And when people actually go and see them, they achieve these wonderful things of like having perspective. By the time you all see all 7, you've traveled down 7 different places, 7 different cities, and you become a little bit more of a traveled hustler. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is take you through the day with the Chichen Itza. We're going to take you through the day of us going there. There's a group of us, 5 of us, that are going to go and explore it. But I'm going to take you through a little bit of an update of what's going on for me at the moment in time, and then what is going to happen, and why I think maybe these 7 wonders of the world should not be idolised to something to go and achieve. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to explain that one in the next video, but it is now time to get some work done. I'm going to chill here in my little egg for a little bit longer, do some work, and then we'll be ready to kind of explain to you what's kind of a life update that's going on at the moment. So that's just a little bit of work done, nothing too crazy, just some WhatsApp messages, some audios and some emails. And now I'm going to give you a little bit of an update. We are now into February. That means my muscle building phase has now been going on for, I think, 8-10 weeks. I'm really happy with the progress that I've been made. Unfortunately, last week was my last week with the coach that I was currently working with. I decided to cut ties, and it was better left, not explained or anything like that, other than just the case of it's not working for me in terms of the style. So therefore, I've opted for a new coach. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say what we're going to until at least I've done another 6 to 8 weeks with them, because I want to make sure that it's right, making sure that it's everything I want it to be, and ultimately I just don't want to be that guy that's chopping and changing and then talking about shit about other people. I'm not that type of guy. At the end of the day, it just didn't work for me. Therefore, we're going to move on and move to something else. I was really happy with the progress. It just wasn't about the progress side of things, but it just wasn't working. So with the 7 wonders of the world, it's one of these things where a lot of people idolise it and want to go and take it off their bucket list and create their bucket lists from potentially other people's bucket lists, and that's just wrong. There are so many places in this world that only 7 things get on that list. It's really crazy that a lot of these places that are the most beautiful are the ones that actually are not on these lists at all. So I'm going to do a longer form video now. And I'm going to put it somewhere here, all the pictures of the different ones that I've been to. And by far the best one that I've been to was the Great Wall of China. Now, the Great Wall of China is one of the... You have to go so fucking far into China and go and delve into a whole different hieroglyphic system. Yeah, it's okay going to Spain and not understanding words, but when their words are fucking letters and their letters are exclamation marks and dashes across the screen, it just gets very difficult to even be there. I remember the first time I went, and I got dropped off 20 minutes away from my hotel because the guy was like, it's over there somewhere, in Chinese. Obviously I didn't even know what he meant. No one speaks English, so I had to walk 20 minutes with my suitcase to go and find this hotel, which I had no idea. Could have been going in the complete opposite direction. I got lucky on that side. And then going to this thing that has been built so many years ago, that vast spans most of the country in essence, to separate the two sides of it that there once was. My second favourite one was the trip to Rio. In essence, Rio is a beautiful, beautiful city. You got the Copacabana beach. You've got paragliding, which you'll see here. You've got and then you've got the Christ the Redeemer. So they've got plenty of attractions and plenty of like mountains to go on top of and see the beauty of the beaches and the sunshine. The best sunrise I've ever seen in my life is in Copacabana beach. It just comes up and it's this red, deep red, and it just comes up from nothing but just ocean and then mountains on the side, and it's just so colourful. It's just amazing. It's one of the best things I've ever experienced. It did help that my house, the flat I was in, did have a pool on the top, so you just sit in the pool and you just watch the sunset in the mornings, sunrise sunrise in the morning, sorry, and the food was exquisite. I had that with a friend called Gina. She was a client of mine, but just turned up badass friend, and we went there and had a very, very good time. So that was awesome. And the rest of them, they really just blended into one. The pyramids of Giza was great. The light show in the evening, we got really lucky with the hotel, and it was really cool. But as I did these more and more, the Colosseum, didn't really give a shit about. I'm not really about that history life. Initially, when I set out to kind of travel and do these bits and bobs, there were always cornerstones within my travel. There's always something to keep an eye on and say, oh, I need to go and tick that off my list. I did the Colosseum with my mum, and hopefully we'll bring up pictures here and show you some bits and bobs, but I did the Colosseum, wasn't really caring about it, I just cared about the picture that you get in front of it. And outside of the Colosseum, the rest of them completely blew my mind. Like, anything, I've got it up here, anything from like the Taj Mahal, the Christ the Redeemer, the Jordan, Petra, and Machu Picchu, they were all ones in which I had a story behind it. And the thing that wasn't powerful, like the trip there, wasn't powerful, or the thing I'm seeing, it was the whole journey behind it. It's the fact that the Taj Mahal, I went with my friend Kunal, we travelled around India, we tried all the foods, we stayed at the Taj Mahal Palace, we went to this day and we went to explore the Taj Mahal, and it was phenomenal. I was the only white guy there, and I get called Arnold Schwarzenegger all the time. And, the stories like that are the ones that last the longest, not the actual thing. Obviously the Makrana marble that the Taj Mahal is made out of is incredible, but it was more the experience of the whole trip as opposed to that particular thing. Every single one of these has this experience style outside of the Colosseum. So the Machu Picchu, I went to Peru, I got really altitude sick, I was there on my own, I was trying to diet at the same time, I was trying to do all these little bits and bobs, and it just ended up being an absolute shit show. Ended up trying loads of nice different food when I wasn't supposed to in terms of dieting, and then you end up going to this place and end up like doing this Huayna Picchu walk, which is a walk all the way up to the top. You end up then going looking around these ruins. Were absolutely phenomenal, but the story behind it and doing check-ins from the Machu Picchu was, something that I tell people all the time is like, oh, it must have been great to like travel those 7 wonders of the world and do check-ins. I was like, no, I'd rather not fucking do check-ins and go to wonders of the world, but it's something that people associate with that. The Petra with Jordan, I went with a friend called Malin. We explored that massively. We adopted a dog while we were there. It was like we went for breakfast and picnics on top. We went to see people that were already living in the mountains and actually like having these teas and sugars and bread with these people that lived actually in the mountains of Petra, and it was just phenomenal. So it wasn't the actual scenery of the stone that people take Instagram pictures for. It was the story behind it that was the most important part. And then with the Christ the Redeemer, again, it's another story that I'll never forget about the Christ the Redeemer. This is the place that I realised I needed therapy, which is hilarious. Because with the Christ Redeemer, I took it as my first week off in 2019. I had a whole year, I didn't have any time off, and then closed the laptop on the way to Rio and completely lost my marbles. I completely didn't know who I was. I'd just been working so hard flat out that I had nothing else to work for or live. I didn't even know what my personal life was outside of this work. So when I got to Rio, it was a rude awakening to have no work and just focus on the time there. I went with a friend called Gina, who was a client of mine, and we just had such a phenomenal time. Week away, the Copacabana beach, the sunrise is phenomenal. It's the best thing since sliced bread, best sunrise I've ever seen in my life. And having all these beautiful memories outside of that, we were paragliding, then we went on this tour guide, ate loads and loads of food to the point that I nearly shit myself. Like, so much good food. So having those memories is really, really important. And then the best one for me is always going to be the Great Wall of China. Having the time and making the effort to go to China and understanding actually get there is even just a blessing within itself. Firstly, did it before COVID, so Wuhan was not the place it was back in the day. They were just normal, and going somewhere where the words and things are hieroglyphics and no one speaks a word of English, and you basically point at guides and you're pointing at pictures of food so that you can have it, as opposed to speaking because you just don't know anything. And I remember that's where I really established my love for both bao buns, and that was just fucking unreal. I love bao buns, pork ones especially, and having all these wild foods, chicken feet, this soup that just knocked my fucking tits off with chicken feet and was crazy. So having all of these stories around that, and then going to this place where you don't really know and understand the magnitude of it. It's so big. Like it spans a half the length of China, and it separates two parts of it. Going and walking there for a day was just incredible, and understanding the culture and what that is about. So it's never truly the snap of the picture or the thing that people want to see that is the true wonder. The wonder is going to the place and the stories that you tell going up to that, and then having that experience, and then, you know, being one of those people that enjoyed that history. So, you know, I'm looking forward to this last one being like another very much another sentimental history books. You know, we're back out traveling again. I've moved my business to Dubai. I've now got the ability to have that financial freedom and be able to be on my own terms, and be able to go and embrace this weekend with the Chichen Itza. Easter? Fucking hell, I can't even say it. The Chichen Itza. And then being able to do that with friends, loved ones, and be able to enjoy that. So, you know, it's always about the experience and always about the time and who else you're with, and the whole trip than just itself on its own. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that, and that becomes like the bottleneck as you go. Is like, it doesn't matter where you go, it matters who you go with, it matters what experiences you have, what you shared experiences that you have. And, you know, after I do the Itza, I can't pronounce it, I'm going to give you an outline of what the actual plans are for the next, like, kind of tick boxes when it comes to experiences around the world. And actually my perception of things on that have changed massively, and what I should be looking for in terms of experiences, ticking these boxes. You know, I remember a time when I was in Bali, and purposely there is a thing on Instagram where people go to these tagged places that are supposedly like Instagram spots, and someone in Bali had created the wrong tag on purpose, so that people would go to this place that wasn't the place that you go to, just because they knew these influencers would go there to take pictures, and then they would sell them the drinks and the mangoes and stuff like that, which is hilarious, right? So, you know, a lot of people are going to these places for clout. A lot of these people are going there just to take the picture and get the 1 minute of post on Instagram. But I'm taking a different view on this, and I'm going to look at experiences over pictures, and things that you won't ever get to see again. You know, you have to look at, you know, the rising tides of different countries, and whether this country will be there in the next 20 years. Stuff like that is a really interesting way to viewpoint things, because, you know, if I was in Mexico now and someone said to me in 20 years time you can't come to this place because it's going to be underwater, then wouldn't that be one of the places that you have to prioritize, because you're not going to be able to see that. People in your lifetime will have seen that, and other people in your lifetime wouldn't have seen that. So it's just thinking about stuff like that. But I'm going to do a whole little segment on that later. But it is time to go and get some food. I'm fucking starving. It's Declan's birthday today, so we're going to go out tonight and vlog a bit of that, and then we're off to what have we got tomorrow? We've got a full day of work tomorrow, unfortunately, and then we are out on Saturday.
To the beach. Let's go get away. Hey.
So Billy's out there, and she's got hit with some waves, and look at her tits twice. Good morning. I think I'm starting to turn, and I don't mean I'm gay. I mean, I've just chosen to have a vegan breakfast out of choice as opposed to forced. I think this needs to be addressed, and needs to go and speak to my therapist about it. But we did basically have some tofu yesterday from one of the vegan shops here. That is absolutely sublime. I'm going to show you it now, but it's chive tofu, and it tastes like cheese, which is phenomenal. I fucking love cheese, so I've opted for tofu on bread for breakfast. It's the first time ever that I've opted for a vegan option over Cocoa Pops, which is alarming. So I need to get checked out by the doctor, I think. So the plan of action today is that we've had our coffee in the mornings, ordered Starbucks, which is one sweet treat. We've done some work, and I've had toast and vegan tofu. Then we're going to go and do some training now. So for me it is push day, which is going to be exciting. That's 4.5 plate sad again, like I did last week on the video. Not going to record that because you've seen it last week, and it's hopefully going to be stronger this week. With that, We have got date night as well tonight, which is going to be very exciting. So for us, date night normally revolves around something like sushi. So we're going to get dressed up and go for sushi tonight. Mills is vlogging as well, so we're both going to be chief influencers today. And yeah, so it's a half day-ish today. A bit of work this morning, a bit in the afternoon, some calls, and then yeah, it's time to chill. Actually, so I thought I'd just go through a little bit of a thing of what we're doing with my VA right now. So as part of online coaching, you need a lot of assistance and a lot of people to help you do everything you need to, especially when you're scaling upwards. So something that we're doing very, very interesting now is that obviously we reached 10k followers, which means that I'm an influencer now. We've got a lot of messages on a day-to-day basis, upwards of like 200 messages daily to kind of deal with and work through. So my call with Mary now is to make sure that she knows how to make those conversations, how to have them, them convert into people who want to kind of call and kind of join Autonomy, and whether it's just people that want to talk to me separately as well. So we have to go through all of this like rigmarole of obviously utilizing the VAs to kind of manage. Otherwise I'd spend 8 hours a day in my Instagram, which I do not want to do. So we're going to go through some bits and bobs about how to maximize her ability to make this a good thing for us, and how to track it. So we'll take you through that now. Hey, how you doing? You okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Good. Been busy today?
I work early, 5:30 UK. I answered just an hour because I answered just some few messages.
Yeah. How's that? Is that working out for you in terms of splitting it up as the day? Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So I've looked through some conversations. Things seem to be going well. Are you happy with the conversations that you're having? workout for today. It is in the morning, so we've already had a grande cappuccino or latte thing already, so caffeine is quite high, but this is the one scoop of this, and then we will get rolling. And for intra workout, we've got these Mango Madness BCAAs. They aren't ideal. I mean, they're not the EAAs complete, but they have enough in to kind of pack a punch, and it's pretty decent. It tastes good. It just keeps you going in that mid-time. So this is intra workout. That's pre-workout, and then we're ready to go.
They got veggie rolls. They've got a Tulum roll with avocado and hummus.
So we just found out that Crystal. Oh, where's Crystal gone?
I'm not Crystal.
Crystal, there she is. She's going to get sacrificed first, so she's up first. Heads off. And apparently we play basketball with it afterwards, so she said, I've got my basketball jersey on, ready to go.
Nobody survived without a heart, you know?
Yeah.
That's the reason, my friend, why when the people ask which one was the most important sacrifices, no one. Everyone is very good.
Happens at the 7 wonders of the world, always.
No. Okay. You need to go. You need to.
Do I need to come lower?
Yes. Kneeling. Better.
Like this?
Yes, exactly.
That's going to be too high. Okay.
Get closer. More.
Really?
Yeah.
This is this. No!
Yes.
I'm not going to fit in that. You ready to jump? More!
You gotta look like you're on top.
A little bit more.
Like this?
Other half.
This one?
Now you're up to jump, yeah? You get it?
Try again.
You say when? It's turned into, you come to the 7 wonders of the world and trying to make some pictures around jump. Whatever they're doing, stupid.
Three.
Did you get it? You get it?
Yes.
Yay!
Different sculptures, like a big blocks of limestone, all carved. Only the facade. Inside with irregular stones like that kind, and after they put in the back the beautiful stone carving.
Oh, she nearly fell over. And so we've just finished with the Itza now and gone around all the little bits and bobs with the games and stuff like that. And now we are going to the cenotes to see what they're like. We haven't brought any gear to go swimming because we didn't actually know that they were here. So we're just going to go and visit them and then go cenotes next week on next week's vlog as well. So very exciting. We all got little presents, little things. Nick got a cock ring and the rest of us got bracelets or other things. So the cenotes though. And that's us done for the Chichen Itza. I'm absolutely knackered, my knee is fucking killing. But we are going to go and travel home now, 2 hours. It was very, very fantastic. That caps off the 7 wonders of the world. I'm very, very excited. The rest of the day will be spent watching videos about the Chichen Itza, apocalyptic I think, and we're going to go get a training session in. So I'll keep you on those. We'll take you through a training session, see what I can do. This will be the last one before my new coach takes over. Very, very exciting. So take care and see you in the training session. Hey guys, so we didn't end up going to training just because when we got back, completely wiped out. My knee was absolutely killing. We ended up just getting some food and just sleeping for the rest of the evening, watching that Apocalypto film, which just fucked. It now confirms what we were thinking about those Mayan people and the people that lived in near the Chichen Itza was wild. So if you haven't seen that film, check it out. So that is the 7 wonders of the world now done. And I wanted to go into a little bit of a tangent from that, and you know, a lot of people utilize these like standards across anything. You know, the 7 wonders of the world, things you see on Instagram that is the most liked, things that people are going to go. You have to go to here. You have to go to here. You have to go and see the Northern Lights in Iceland. You have to go to, you know, see the San Francisco Bay, or you have to go and see the Golden Bridge. You have to go to the Great Wall of China. And I think having done all of those now, it's a case of they're an amazing way to start your travel experience. It's very similar to how when you start a fitness journey, you need like a plan, you need a training program, you need sleep guidelines, you need how to check in, be accountable, you need how to cook the food. All of these are guidelines, right? But as you get very similar and familiar with like cooking, you can then branch out into different recipes and start looking at putting your own flavor on things. And I think in the traveling world, these 7 wonders are like dictated as things like to kind of tick off, but they don't really embrace the true beauty of travel because they're almost predicted valuables. They're predicted commodities of tourism, and therefore when you go and see them, they're amazing, but it's a tourist trap waiting to happen. You know, they'll make a lot of money, the people selling things, we bought some bracelets, and you know, it takes away, in my opinion, takes away the beauty from the element of that travel. Like most things that are the most beautiful are the things in which you are present in the moment and you see it, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to see. And I think these things, because they've been around for such a long time and they will continue to be around, they are great to go and observe and understand the history and understand you know, what it was like back in those days, or just in general why the hell they made those beautiful things, or how they even did it. Like Petra, how the hell did they make those stone structures? But having done them now, I believe that if you're going to do anything, I think from a travel perspective, you need to ensure that the things that you expect to see are probably the unexpected. The unexpected beauties are like the waking up in the Copacabana beach and you know, overlooking the sunrise and seeing an amazing sunrise there which you never expected. You know, going to a cliff edge in Mykonos and seeing the sunset in those type of places is just absolutely and we want to use these as a baseline for you to get out and traveling. If you've never traveled before, you're an online coach, or you're working with that laptop lifestyle, you want to use these to kind of bracket and push towards a direction. But when you get there and when you go through these things, the experience is the most important. Who you go with, who you share it with, what kind of headspace you're in when you go, how focused are you, how much in the moment are you, how fulfilled are you, happy on a day-to-day basis will almost dictate your experience. You can go to these 7 wonders and have an absolute howler because you hate your own company, or you hate the in the moment stuff, or you're totally distracted by the work that you do. or the laptop lifestyle, you know, people answering WhatsApp messages when they're at these 7 wonders, or you know, they're just checking in with people on the way there. It can kind of ruin the experience, and everything can be a wonder if you let it. And so, you know, for me going forward, you know, how will I go and do these experiences? And I think that's the biggest thing. These things that we go and see, these 7 wonders, these things where people say, oh, you should go and see this, in my opinion, don't really class as an experience in what I would class as an experience. So these things have been things to tick off outside of Machu Picchu and the Great Wall of China, where the level of effort that you have to get there, and the level of effort that you have to put into, like, travel overnight, go to China, go and read hieroglyphics to get those places, would call it an experience. But the rest of them are just a case of, you can go to this country, you can literally fly into the airport, you can literally get a transport from the airport to those particular places. Make it really accessible, and make it just more of a thing to do as opposed to the overall global experience. I would say, like, even going to the Abu Dhabi F1 in December was more of an experience than going to see the 7 wonders, most of them. And you know, going scuba diving in the middle of Bali in 2019 was more of an experience. And I think, you know, I'm going to chase experiences and things that will completely immerse you in a new thing. You know, whether it's practical and, you know, moving and doing exercise, whether it's the scuba diving, the reef diving, the cliff jumping, you know, the skydiving, whatever it is in terms of experiences, versus going to see a particular thing. I think there is merit, and there definitely holds merit to looking at, you know, if you are traveling or you want to travel and you feel like, you know, this next 20-30 years of your life is going to be where you do a lot of your traveling, and you want to maximize that. You have to look at a few things like tide height, what cities are sinking. If you want to maximize the best of your travel, like, see things that you might not be able to see in 20-30 years of your time. I think I read that Jakarta and obviously the city of Venice is going to be, you know, relatively underwater, more so than not, compared to now in 20 years time. And whether those things still hold its value, whether Venice you know, increases in the level of stench and horrible nature, and whether people actually want to go, is a different story. So, you know, just going to these places that you might not ever get the opportunity to. Like, for me, with my knee, it was really imperative in 2019 that I did the Great Wall of China and did the walk there, because I wouldn't have been able to do it now. Like, legitimately, like, I've done 5,000-6,000 steps yesterday at the Chichen Itza, and I'm literally buried today. I'm gonna have to take a taxi to the gym and take a taxi to the coffee shop because my knee is is in so much pain. Like, if I was doing things now, it was in my 20s, like, I'm 30 this year, but if it was in my 20s, I'd be doing things like, you know, climbing and all of the climbing all of the stuff, doing on big adventures. If you go and do Machu Picchu, make sure you do the 7-day Inca Trail where you walk for 7 days. I would 100% love to do that. I just couldn't because of my knee. I'd love to do, like, Mount Fuji and you know, Kilimanjaro and Everest Base Camp. Those things that are legitimate experiences based on time, and time in your life too, because as you get to 30-40, you might not be able to do that based on ailments, responsibilities. So it's looking at those things, and where they take the most greater difficulty to go and do, I would definitely go and do those first. And the things that will be scarce enough for not being able to see them again. Try and not fall into the trap of thinking that everything that you do from a travel perspective will end. You know, when I was in 2019, I was moving through things so fast because I thought, oh, it's going to end. But if we know anything from COVID now, if we know everything from the last 3-5 years, the laptop lifestyle, the traveling lifestyle is not going away. It's only going to get more accessible, because more jobs are going to be online focused, and you can work from anywhere as long as you have that remote ability to be on Wi-Fi. So it's not scarce anymore. You know, going to Rome isn't an issue. Going to Bali isn't an issue. Coming to, you know, Mexico isn't an issue. So therefore, we don't want to look at things as a scarce nature, because often you rush things, and often you make rash decisions about where you go because you think, I'm never going to be able to get the opportunity again, when actually this could be your new lifestyle. For most people, you know, I don't know how much of the workforce in the UK, probably 50-60% of the workforce in the UK ended up being remote in 2019 or 2020. So it just leads to state is that those that will dare to go and travel at the same time as working will be able to do this for a long period of time. So don't jump into the nature of being scarce. It's only going to last a year, so I need to get this and this done. You know, this doesn't have a shelf life. It doesn't have a timing on it. Obviously, in your own personal lives, if you are going to do the whole baby, kids, marriage, that and conform to the normal social dynamics of getting a house, then obviously then there's the time limit to that. But if you don't want to conform to that, like we're not conforming that to, you know, I bought a house in the UK, I really fucking hated it, so I came back to Dubai. So, you know, if you don't want to conform to the usual pattern of like the social conformist of our normal day-to-day life, which is get a house, get a good job, get a dog, get a family, get married, that type of stuff, then, you know, you have this ability to last this until you're into your 30s, until you, whenever you feel like that's right to do, or even if it is partly right to do in some case, shape or form. So don't rush it. The best things that you can do right now, if you're in your 20s or even in your early 30s and you're able-bodied, make sure that you go and do the things that will test you the most in terms of your physical capabilities, and then work backwards on those. You know, all I think about is, okay, if I was in a wheelchair, where couldn't I go? You know, I couldn't go to Machu Picchu. I couldn't go to the Great Wall of China, or at least walk down the Great Wall of China. I could go to the Chichen Itza, I could go to the Colosseum, I could go to Christ the Redeemer, I could go to, you know, there's things that you can't do. You won't be able to get off a boat in Bali, get off a boat in the Gili Islands. You probably wouldn't be able to, you know, go scuba diving. You wouldn't be able to go reef diving. You wouldn't be able to go cliff jumping. You know, things where you really might not see the value yet, but obviously with my knee I see the value massively because I feel the impact, is that, you know, we have to really rely on our physical capabilities to do this travelling as much as possible, and that's where most of it comes into play. When you're struggling physically, then you don't get to do the things that you want. So, you know, if I was going back, I'd be looking at all of the physical things that I want to do. If I started travelling earlier, like 21, 22, I would have done, you know, all of the hard stuff: Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest Base Camp, Mount Fuji, Inca trails, all those type of things where it takes physical demand. I would have done them early in my 20s, and then worked out backwards to kind of work less physical stuff as well. And then just on that note, those 7 wonders are absolutely fantastic. You should definitely check them out. But remember that this is just the baseline. This is just like having a nutrition plan, or it's just having a recipe for a really nice meal. Is that once you go off piece a little bit, once you go and make it your own, that's when you really start to enjoy things. That's when you really start getting the experiences, which is n=1, which in research terms means just you, n=1. So you don't want to go and just look for other things on Instagram that other people are doing, because it creates no fulfillment for you. You need to look inside yourself and look at the drive that you have. What is it do I want to go and see? What looks appealing? What can I do a little bit of reading on that gets me excited? You know, we want to go to Fiji, and we want to go to, you know, Australia again, and we want to go to, you know, we want to go to Tokyo in Asia because we fucking love sushi and we want to go there. You know, we want to go to, you know, and it excites us to go to these particular places, and that what excites you. And obviously, if you don't know what excites you, you start your travel and then you work up to that point, because then you do a little bit of reading, you get a little bit more excited. But if you have unfulfilled enjoyment patterns and things that you really want to do, without looking on Instagram, without looking on social media, what everyone else is doing, if you can find what you would like to enjoy, then you go and do those and make sure they become your 7 wonders. They become your experiences that you want to gain, and that's how you should run it. You know, these things of tagged markers on Insta, or these 7 wonders where people are telling you these are the best things since sliced bread. They may be better than where you are right now, but they don't mean, no way, shape or form mean that they're the only things that you should go and see. So, you know, I'm glad that I've done it. I'm glad that I've now taken them off that box, and now actually the exploring really starts. The exploring outside of the social norm is the bit that I'm really excited for now. So I can look on a map and say, love to go to Galapagos and see all the animals. I'd love to go to the North Pole just to be pulled in one of those sleds with the huskies and go and see Santa. I'd like to go to, you know, the islands of Fuji and Samoa and all of those type of places where it's like complete island, and see how they lived, and obviously work from there, and just see how it is a completely different lifestyle there. So you know, there's various things that get me excited, and now because those things are ticked off, and the nature of what I was doing was trying to get those done, because that's what I felt I had to do. You get to expose yourself to new things now, so I can look with an open eye and say, these are the things that I want to go and chase. I've had the idea and like the base point of what these are. Now I can go and explore further to that. So guys, this has been another vlog. If you are interested in traveling, you are one of those people that has the ability to have a laptop lifestyle, You know, if you have any questions about traveling, you have any questions about recommendations, let me know. I've run you through some bits and bobs in the initial vlogs about the nomad list, Airbnb, how to pick your hostel, how to pick your hotel. They're really, really valuable for when you want to travel. But if you want some recommendations on places to go, hit me up in the DMs, hit me up on YouTube comments, and I'd be really happy to help. But guys, it's been another vlog, 7 Wonders of the World completed. Yalla Habibi. Next up, what are we doing next week? Next week is we're going to the cenotes, and we will do a full day of Mexican food eating, I believe. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, here's to another video. Actually, it's a video on how to be productive whilst traveling. So I'm going to take you through how I absolutely get loads of shit done whilst looking at the cenotes, whilst also then eating Mexican food as well. So guys, have a lovely week. Thank you very much for watching again. Mucho apreciado. Gracias, amigo.